The comfort trap. That's where most people live their entire lives without even realizing it. Every morning they wake up, scroll through their phones, sip their coffee, and convince themselves they deserve an easy day. They say they'll start tomorrow, they'll change next week, they'll grind when they feel ready. But here's the truth: comfort doesn't wait to destroy you. It starts the moment you start negotiating with it. You think you're resting, but you're decaying. You think you're recharging, but you're rusting from the inside out. The world around you is built to make you weak. Every ad, every app, every distraction is designed to sedate you. They sell you convenience as happiness. Don't work hard, take it easy, treat yourself. You deserve it. That message sounds nice. It feels good, but it's poison. Because every time you choose comfort over discipline, you teach your mind that it's okay to stay average. You train yourself to accept less, to settle for mediocrity. And soon enough, mediocrity becomes your identity. You start making excuses. You tell yourself, I'm just tired. I'll do it later. I've had a long day. But the truth is, your mind is lying to you. It's trying to protect you from struggle, from growth, from discomfort. But that's exactly what's destroying your potential. Comfort is a slow killer. It doesn't ruin your life overnight. It eats away at your edge, your hunger, your ambition, one quiet morning at a time. You lose that fire that once made you dangerous. You stop chasing greatness because you've convinced yourself you're doing enough. Look at the people who have everything you want: power, wealth, respect, peace of mind. None of them got there by being comfortable. Every single one of them suffered for it. They embraced the grind, the pain, the pressure. They learned to find peace in the struggle. That's what separates winners from losers. The loser avoids pain. The winner uses it. The loser runs from discomfort. The winner hunts it down. Because he knows that comfort might feel good now, but it costs him everything later. The funny thing is, comfort promises happiness, but delivers misery. You lie in bed for another hour thinking you're enjoying life, but afterward, you feel worse. You eat junk food because it feels good, but an hour later, you hate yourself. You procrastinate because it's easy, but deep down, it eats your confidence alive. Comfort gives you short-term pleasure, but long-term pain. Discipline gives you short-term pain, but long-term power. And most men, sadly, pick the first one because they're afraid of the second. Comfort is deceptive because it doesn't scream failure. It whispers it. It says, take one day off. It says, you worked hard yesterday. It says, you deserve to relax. And while you listen, someone else out there is grinding. Someone else is building. Someone else is becoming who you wish you were. Every second you spend chasing comfort, someone else is using that same time to become unstoppable. And when you finally wake up, you'll realize they've already won. If you stay in the comfort zone, you'll never know what you're capable of. You'll never taste that feeling of true pride, that satisfaction that only comes from doing what most people refuse to do. Because when you push through pain, when you force yourself to keep going when you don't feel like it, that's when you meet the real you, the disciplined you, the dangerous you, the version of you that doesn't break, doesn't fold, doesn't quit. Comfort will convince you that peace comes from stillness, but peace comes from strength. You can't respect yourself if you keep choosing the easy path. Every time you take the shortcut, every time you choose comfort over commitment, you chip away at your own soul. You don't even notice it at first. But slowly, your confidence dies, your ambition fades, your spirit dulls. You start living like everyone else, alive, but not awake, breathing, but not living. Most people aren't unhappy because they lack comfort. They're unhappy because they've surrendered their power. They've chosen safety over growth. They've accepted ease over evolution. And that's why they feel empty, no matter how soft their life becomes. You were never meant to live soft. You were built to fight, to struggle, to conquer. You were designed to face challenges and grow stronger because of them. That's where fulfillment lies, on the other side of discomfort. The world doesn't need more comfortable men. It needs disciplined ones, men who are willing to go to war with themselves, men who are ready to sacrifice pleasure for purpose, men who'd rather sweat now than cry later. Because discipline is what sharpens you. Comfort dulls you. Discipline strengthens your soul. Comfort weakens your spirit. And if you keep chasing comfort, you'll never know the pride of becoming the man who refused to settle for average. You think happiness comes from pleasure, from having more time, more comfort, more things that make life easy. But that's not happiness, that's distraction. That's sedation. That's the illusion of peace that disappears the moment life hits you. Real happiness doesn't come from avoiding the grind. It comes from earning your pride, from knowing you did what most people were too weak to do. And that only comes from one thing: discipline. Discipline isn't about being strict or robotic, it's about being free. Free from the emotions that control you. Free from laziness. Free from the voice in your head that always tries to convince you to settle. Because when you have discipline, you don't depend on motivation. You don't wait for the right moment, the perfect mood, or the magical burst of energy. You just move. You act. You do what has to be done because your standards are not negotiable. That's where happiness starts, not in comfort, but in control. Most people wake up every day slaves to how they feel. If they feel tired, they quit. If they feel lazy, they stop. If they feel sad, they hide. They let emotions decide their lives. But discipline doesn't care about how you feel. Discipline teaches you to do what's right regardless of your mood. And when you start living like that, something shifts inside you. You begin to respect yourself. You look in the mirror and see someone reliable, someone unstoppable, someone real. That respect is happiness. The kind that doesn't fade when life gets hard. You can't buy happiness. You can't fake it. You have to earn it through consistency. Every time you wake up early when your body wants to sleep, every time you train when your mind says rest, every time you choose growth over ease, you're building happiness brick by brick. Because the truth is, happiness isn't a gift, it's a consequence. It's what you feel when you live with purpose and discipline. Comfort gives you moments of pleasure, discipline gives you meaning. There's a reason why successful people still push themselves even when they've already made it. They don't need more money, they don't need validation, but they still chase discomfort. Why? Because discipline is addictive once you understand it. It becomes a form of peace. When you have discipline, your mind stops fighting you. You don't wake up confused or lost anymore. You already know what needs to be done. You just do it. That's power pure, calm and silent power. The world tells you to follow your feelings, to listen to your heart. That's the problem. Your feelings are liars. They tell you to quit when it's hard, to give up when it's uncomfortable, to choose what's easy now and suffer later. Discipline does the opposite. It teaches you to suffer now and enjoy later. It reverses the cycle. It gives you control over yourself. And that control is where real joy lies. Because once you master yourself, nothing else can master you. Most people think happiness means smiling and feeling good all the time. But that's not happiness, that's weakness. True happiness is when you wake up tired but still move. When you're stressed but still focus. When you don't feel like doing it, and you still do it. That's the kind of happiness that lasts. The kind that builds character, confidence, and calm. Because you stop being at war with yourself. You know you can rely on you. Discipline changes everything about how you see yourself. When you live with discipline, you stop needing validation. You stop caring about approval. You start walking differently, speaking differently, thinking differently. You don't need to prove anything to anyone because your results speak for you. You carry peace because you know you've earned it. The stress that comes from laziness disappears. The guilt that comes from procrastination fades. The chaos in your mind quiets down. Discipline replaces it all with structure, order, and strength. The happiest people on this planet aren't the ones who live soft. They're the ones who live hard with purpose. They go to bed exhausted but fulfilled. They wake up with direction, not confusion. They don't dread the day because they're already prepared for it. They don't wait for motivation because they've trained their mind to move without it. That's happiness. The kind that can't be bought, can't be faked, can't be taken away. Comfort feels good now but robs your future. Discipline hurts now but rewards your future. That's why you can't chase pleasure and expect peace. You can't avoid struggle and expect strength. Every moment of discipline pays you back tenfold in confidence, focus, and inner peace. The pain of doing what's right lasts seconds, the pride of it lasts forever. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Every act of self-control builds the foundation of that bridge. Every time you push past your feelings, you're one step closer to real happiness, the kind that doesn't depend on anything outside of you. Because once you've built it from discipline, no one can take it away. Everyone wants peace. Everyone wants that calm mind, that steady heart, that feeling that no matter what happens, they're unshakable. But what most people don't understand is that peace doesn't come from comfort, peace comes from conquest. You don't find peace hiding in your room or avoiding stress. You find peace when you face the fire and walked out stronger. Pain builds peace. Struggle builds strength. Discomfort builds dominance. Every winner knows this truth, that real peace is earned through pain, not given through ease. You see, people spend their lives trying to escape pain. They build routines that protect them from discomfort. They avoid challenges. They run from anything that demands effort. They say they're chasing happiness, but in reality, they're avoiding growth. Because pain is the birthplace of every powerful version of you. Pain is the teacher that life uses to show you what you're made of. Without pain, you'd never grow discipline. Without pain, you'd never develop resilience. Without pain, you'd never know peace, because peace has no meaning unless you've faced chaos. When you go through pain, something inside you changes. It's not just your mindset, it's your identity. You stop fearing the world because you've already survived worse. You stop doubting yourself because you've proven you can endure. You stop caring about the noise, the opinions, the distractions. Because pain sharpens your focus like nothing else. Every moment of struggle carves out weakness. Every setback cuts away fear. Every failure forges a new layer of strength. That's why winners are calm, not because life is easy for them, but because they've already battled through the worst and come out untouchable. There's a type of peace that only pain can buy. It's the peace you feel when you've pushed yourself to the edge, when your muscles burn, when your mind screams to quit, and yet you keep going. It's the peace that hits you when you realize you didn't need comfort, you needed courage. Pain gives you that. It gives you the kind of confidence that no book, no motivational quote, no easy life can ever give. It teaches you that you can rely on yourself, that you can suffer and survive, that you can break and rebuild stronger. That's the foundation of unshakable peace. Most people confuse relaxation with peace. They think lying on a couch doing nothing will make them happy. But it doesn't, because deep down, you can't feel proud of avoiding the work. Your body rests, but your mind screams. You know you're wasting time. You know you're escaping instead of evolving. You can't feel peace while betraying your potential. True peace doesn't come when everything is easy. It comes when you've earned the right to rest because you gave everything you had. That's why warriors sleep better than cowards. That's why builders smile deeper than dreamers. That's why the disciplined man walks lighter than the lazy one, because pain cleanses you. It burns away the parts of you that are weak, that are uncertain, that are fake. Pain shows you what's real. When life gets hard and you still show up, you build proof that you can handle chaos. And once you know that, nothing can shake you. That's real peace. You'll never find peace hiding from struggle. You'll only find temporary comfort that fades the moment reality hits you again. Real peace is built through repetition, through the daily grind, through the moments when you want to quit but refuse to. It's built every time you endure something you didn't think you could. You start to realize pain isn't your enemy, it's your coach. It's showing you the areas where you still need to grow. It's exposing your weaknesses so you can strengthen them. Every challenge, every failure, every heartbreak. It's all part of the same lesson. Nothing worth having comes without pain. Think about it. Every great story, every great achievement, every great man was molded by pain. The most disciplined, the most peaceful, the most powerful people, they all went through something. They suffered, they broke, but they rebuilt. And that process gave them peace because now they know they can't be destroyed. You can't scare a man who's been through pain. You can't control someone who's already conquered their fear. Pain takes away all your illusions and leaves you with truth. That truth is strength. That strength becomes peace. The world will tell you to avoid pain, to take it easy, to protect your emotions. But that advice keeps you weak. You don't need protection from pain. You need exposure to it. You need to feel it, understand it, and learn from it. Because every time you embrace pain, you become less reactive, less fearful, less dependent on comfort. Pain gives you perspective. It humbles you. It teaches gratitude. It strips away your ego and forces you to see what truly matters. That's why pain is the ultimate purifier. When you start embracing discomfort, life stops being a constant war. You stop resisting everything. You stop running from the hard things. You start moving through them with calm. You realize pain isn't here to destroy you. It's here to shape you. It's the reason the strongest men are also the calmest. Because they've been through enough storms to know peace isn't the absence of chaos. It's mastery over it. Every day, you're building something. Whether you realize it or not, you're constructing the person you'll become through the choices you make right now. Every small decision, every tiny moment of weakness or strength, every time you say yes or no to your excuses, it's all adding up to create your future. You are shaping your destiny not in one massive action, but in the quiet, unseen moments when no one is watching. Every choice creates your character. Every decision defines the kind of man you're becoming. You think character is built through big victories, through dramatic wins, through once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. But that's not true. Character is built in the dark. It's built when your alarm goes off and you decide whether to rise or roll over. It's built when you're tired but still show up. It's built when no one's giving you applause or recognition. The real battle isn't out there in the world. It's within you every single day. And the enemy isn't failure, it's comfort. It's the little voice that tells you to take it easy, to skip today, to do it later. That's the war. That's where your future is decided. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you take control of your life. You teach yourself that your word matters. You prove that your feelings don't own you. And that's what separates strong men from weak ones. Not genetics, not luck, not opportunity, decisions. Because your decisions become your habits become your identity, and your identity becomes your destiny. If your habits are weak, your character will be weak. If your habits are strong, your character will be unbreakable. The truth is, you can't fake discipline. You can post quotes, talk about motivation, pretend you're working, but your habits always tell the truth. The man who skips his workout knows. The man who avoids the grind knows. You can lie to everyone else, but you can't lie to yourself. Every time you choose the easy way out, you're voting against your own potential. You're casting a vote for the version of you that stays average, that stays small, that stays afraid. And every time you do the hard thing, you're voting for the man who wins, the man who commands respect, the man who doesn't break under pressure. That's why discipline matters, not because it's glamorous, but because it's proof. Proof that you can be trusted. Proof that you have integrity. Proof that you mean what you say. The man who keeps promises to himself is dangerous because he doesn't need external motivation. He doesn't rely on approval. He's built on inner strength, and that strength is forged through thousands of small, disciplined choices that no one ever sees. Every moment is a test, whether you admit it or not. The universe keeps asking you the same question: how bad do you want it? And your actions answer that question louder than your words ever could. You can't say you want greatness and then act like everyone else. You can't say you want respect and then avoid the grind. You can't say you want power and then let your comfort win every battle. Every action you take is a reflection of your standards. Every time you choose laziness, you're lowering those standards. Every time you push through discomfort, you're raising them. You become what you repeatedly do. If you consistently choose weakness, you'll become weak. If you consistently choose strength, you'll become powerful. There's no in between. You're not standing still. You're either building yourself or breaking yourself. That's why every day matters. That's why every little decision counts. Because the difference between the man you are and the man you want to be isn't luck. It's choices repeated over time. People think success is complicated, but it's really just repetition. It's about doing what's right over and over until it becomes who you are. That's why the disciplined man doesn't need motivation. His habits run on autopilot. He doesn't question whether he should do it. He just does. Because he's trained his mind to understand that comfort is the enemy and consistency is the weapon. Look at your life right now. Everything you have, everything you lack, everything you've built, It's the sum of your past decisions. That's not an accident. You've created this reality through what you've tolerated, what you've pursued, and what you've avoided. And the beautiful part is, you can change it anytime. You can start making different choices today. But that requires honesty. It requires looking in the mirror and admitting that you've been choosing comfort over greatness for too long. The man you become 10 years from now is being created in this exact moment. He's not built in the future, he's built today through the habits you're forming right now. Every time you decide to train, to study, to improve, to sacrifice, you're shaping that future version of yourself. And every time you decide to take it easy, to procrastinate, to escape, you're killing him. You have to decide which one you're building, because every small choice is either making you stronger or weaker, hungrier or lazier, unstoppable or forgettable. That's why every day is a test of character. You're either proving that you're serious about your goals or proving that you're not. The man who wins doesn't have more time, more talent, or more chances. He just makes better choices consistently, relentlessly, unapologetically. He knows that his habits are his foundation, and he builds that foundation one hard decision at a time. Winning has nothing to do with luck. It never has. People love to believe that success just happens, that winners are born into it, that they got a lucky break, that fate smiled on them. But that belief is just an excuse for the weak. It's what the lazy tell themselves so they can sleep at night knowing they didn't try. The truth is brutal, but simple. Winning is not luck. It's self-mastery. It's control. It's consistency. It's the ability to do what others won't every single day, even when it hurts, even when no one's watching, even when no one claps. Look around you. The people who are winning in life aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who mastered themselves. They mastered their emotions, their habits, their focus, their discipline. While everyone else was distracted, they were dialed in. While everyone else chased instant pleasure, they chased long-term power. And that's why they win. Not because the world handed them anything, but because they took control of their inner world first. That's where all victories start. In the mind, not in the moment. You can't call yourself a winner if you can't control yourself. If you let your laziness, your anger, your fear, your impulses control you, you're not free. You're enslaved by your own emotions. That's why most people lose, because they live like emotional puppets. One bad mood and they give up. One hard day and they fold. One setback and they start crying about how life isn't fair. But the man who's mastered himself doesn't break like that. He doesn't react, he responds. He doesn't panic, he plans. He doesn't rely on motivation, he relies on systems. That's what separates winners from everyone else, mastery over self. People say they want success, but they don't want to pay the price that comes with it. They want the results of mastery without the pain of control. But you can't fake this. You can't pretend to be disciplined for a week and expect to change your life. You have to rewire your habits, your mindset, your entire lifestyle. You have to train your mind like a weapon. You have to be willing to say no when everyone else says yes. You have to be willing to sacrifice comfort for control, pleasure for purpose, temporary satisfaction for permanent pride. That's what mastery demands. The truth is, life will always test you. It will throw distractions, failures, and frustrations your way. It will tempt you with comfort, with excuses, with shortcuts. But the man who's mastered himself doesn't bend. He stays focused no matter how loud the noise gets, because he's not chasing feelings, he's chasing purpose. He understands that emotions are temporary, but standards are permanent. So he builds his life around standards, not moods, and that's how he wins. Not once, but over and over again. When you reach that level of control, something powerful happens. You stop needing to compete with others because you realize the real battle is internal. It's not you versus them, it's you versus the version of you that wants to stay comfortable. You start understanding that discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about never letting weakness run your life. You can fail, you can fall, but you never surrender control. Because you know the moment you lose control of yourself, you've lost everything. Winning is boring to most people because it's not dramatic. It's not about flashy moments or big victories. It's about repetition, structure, and mental dominance. The champion doesn't need luck because he's built habits that guarantee results. He doesn't pray for opportunities. He creates them through preparation. He doesn't hope things work out. He works until they have no choice but to. That's what self-mastery looks like. Quiet, consistent, relentless progress that no one can stop. And the crazy part is, once you master yourself, life stops feeling so chaotic. You stop blaming people. You stop complaining. You stop waiting. You start building. You start creating. You start executing. Because the chaos isn't out there. It's inside you. Once you calm that chaos, everything else falls into place. That's why the most disciplined men look peaceful. Because their lives aren't easy. Their minds are. They've built clarity where others live in confusion. They've built order where others live in chaos. They've built discipline where others live in excuses. The losers will keep saying it's luck. They'll keep calling it unfair. They'll keep telling stories about how life dealt them the wrong cards. But the winner doesn't complain about the cards. He learns to play them better. He studies the game. He adapts. He evolves. Because that's what mastery is. Understanding that the world won't change for you, so you have to change yourself to conquer it. Once you learn to control your mind, you can control your world. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to give you the discipline, the focus, the hunger. You have to build it. You have to take responsibility for your results. You have to stop being emotional about everything and start being strategic. You have to train your mind to obey you. That's what winning is. Complete control over your thoughts, your actions, your energy. And once you have that, you don't need luck, you don't need miracles, you don't need motivation. Because at that point, you've become the cause of your own success. At some point, you have to decide what kind of life you're gonna live. Not the one you dream about, not the one you talk about, but the one you actually create. And it all comes down to one choice: discipline or excuses. Every man makes that decision, whether he admits it or not. You either wake up and do what has to be done, or you sit there and tell yourself why you can't. That's the difference between a fulfilled life and a wasted one. Discipline gives you power. Excuses take it away. Discipline builds your future. Excuses destroy it before it begins. You can talk all day about what you want. You can set goals, make plans, visualize success, but if you don't have the discipline to execute, it's all noise. Excuses are easy because they make you feel justified. They make you feel like you're not quitting, you're just waiting for the right time. But there's never a right time, there's only now. Excuses are the language of failure, the lullaby that comforts the lazy while discipline is out there changing lives. The difference between the man who wins and the man who loses isn't opportunity, it's consistency. It's who's willing to do the work when no one's forcing them to. Discipline is brutal at first. It's uncomfortable. It breaks your habits, exposes your weaknesses, and demands sacrifice. But every day you choose it, it gives something back: confidence, clarity, control. You start to see yourself differently. You start to realize you don't need comfort, you need challenge. Because comfort doesn't build character, it kills it. Comfort makes you fragile. It makes you dependent. It makes you fear the very pain that's meant to make you stronger. The disciplined man understands this, so he doesn't run from discomfort, he hunts it. He looks for it, embraces it, uses it as fuel. When you live with excuses, you live on the edge of regret. Every time you say, not today, every time you say, maybe tomorrow, a small piece of you dies inside. You know you're lying to yourself. You know you're capable of more, but you keep postponing it. That's the quiet suffering of mediocrity, not failing, but never starting. You convince yourself you're okay, but deep down you're haunted by everything you could have been. That's why lazy men are never at peace. They live with the noise of unfulfilled potential echoing in their minds. They can't escape it because deep down they know the truth. They chose comfort over greatness. Discipline hurts now, but excuses hurt forever. The pain of discipline is clean. It's the burn of effort, the sting of focus, the fatigue that comes from pushing your limits. But it's the kind of pain that builds you. The pain of excuses is different. It rots you. It's slow, it's quiet, it's invisible at first. It doesn't break your body, it breaks your spirit. It makes you wake up one day and realize you've wasted years chasing the easy route, and now you don't even recognize the man in the mirror. That's the real cost of excuses. Not just lost opportunities, but lost identity. Every time you choose discipline, You're choosing power. You're choosing to take control of your destiny instead of leaving it to chance. You're saying, I don't care how I feel. I care about who I'm becoming. That's real strength, doing what's right when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's inconvenient. Discipline doesn't demand perfection. It demands persistence. You don't have to win every battle. You just have to keep showing up, because showing up is what builds momentum, and momentum turns effort into excellence. People think success is about talent or timing, but it's not. It's about habits. It's about the way you show up every single day when no one's watching. You can't build anything lasting with excuses. You can't rely on motivation to save you. Motivation fades. Excuses multiply. But discipline compounds. It grows stronger with time. Every time you keep your word, every time you finish what you start, every time you resist temptation, you stack another brick on the foundation of your legacy. That's how great men are built. Not by chance, not by luck, but by disciplined repetition. When you finally understand this, life becomes simple. Not easy simple. You stop arguing with your feelings. You stop negotiating with your goals. You stop making excuses for your weakness. You just do the work. You follow through because that's who you are now. Not someone chasing comfort, but someone chasing strength. Because in the end, the only real freedom is the one that discipline gives you. Freedom from doubt, from regret, from weakness. And here's the truth: the man who chooses discipline lives with power. The man who chooses excuses lives with pain. One wakes up fulfilled, the other wakes up frustrated. One sleeps peacefully knowing he gave everything he had, the other lies awake haunted by the things he never did. You can't escape that reality. You either pay the price of discipline now, or you pay the price of regret later. Both hurt, but only one makes you stronger. At the end of the day, everything comes down to one defining truth: you are either the product of your discipline or the victim of your comfort. Life doesn't reward intentions, it rewards execution. Every decision you make, every morning you rise, every battle you fight within yourself shapes the man you become. You can choose to stay soft, to chase pleasure, to hide behind excuses and wonder why nothing changes. Or you can choose to be different, to do the work when it hurts, to push when it's hard, to demand more of yourself than anyone else ever will. The happy winner isn't the man who had it easy. He's the man who earned his peace through struggle, through persistence, through relentless self-control. He knows real happiness isn't found in comfort, it's forged in discomfort. It's the pride that comes from discipline, the calm that comes from knowing you've conquered your own weakness. The stressed loser will always chase temporary pleasure, always run from pain, always end up exhausted from escaping responsibility. But the disciplined man, he walks with quiet confidence, unshakable focus, and peace that no one can take away. Because discipline is not punishment, it's the highest form of self-love. It's you saying, I deserve a better life, and I'm willing to earn it. And when you finally commit to that truth, you stop chasing motivation and start creating momentum. You stop hoping for success and start becoming it. That's when everything changes. That's when you transform from someone who reacts to life into someone who commands it. So remember this: every morning you have two choices. Stay comfortable and remain the same, or stay disciplined and change everything. The man who chooses comfort will always wonder, what if? But the man who chooses discipline will never have to, because he'll know that he gave everything. He'll know that he built himself from nothing. He'll know that he became the rarest kind of man, the happy winner who found peace not in ease, but in mastery.